Hey people, it's Steel Gamer here, and this is Diablo 3 video. The title of it says, discussing the reality on the Pestilence Necromancer build. You have to excuse me, I'm extremely friggin' stuffed up right now, so I sound like a fucking idiot. Season's changing, my allergies are fucking killing me, so... that being said, putting that aside, I got a friend of mine who's going to be joining the stream. Well, not a friend, but he's on my friends list in Diablo 3. And he was having problems playing the Necromancer Pestilence build. And I've been wanting to make this video for a while anyway, simply because all the people that talk about this build and what's written on Icy Veins and these forums and everything else make the build out to be so good, but none of them, not a single place, goes over all of the downfalls with this build and the exact way to play it to get, to get far in the rifts and what not to do and things like that. They only focus on what the build can do, but there are more downfalls with this build than there are pluses with it. And that's the sad reality of it. So I'm going to be using this video to explain to the friend of mine that's going to be watching this the exact reasoning on why he was having a problem with this and everything else. So let me give him the link to this so he can join, and then I will start on it. Oh man, I'm so stuffed up right now. Alright, yeah, just give him a minute. I just linked the stream itself. And so, like I said, before I start going over anything, I just want to wait till he gets here. So in the meantime, we're going to look a couple things up. Like, what's my gear and stuff right now. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Alright, so, let me see. Critical hit chance, cold skills. Legendary. Why do I have fucking dexterity ones equipped? That's terrible. No wonder I'm getting all fucked up with that. I have the fucking dexterity ones equipped. Hey, how's it going, man? Okay, basically, here's the deal with the Necromancer build. Alright, a lot of these people that come up with these builds and go over the videos and the, the websites and everything else, it turns a lot of people off because a lot of people look at what they're doing and they think they can copy it and it just turns everybody off, so they have a problem playing it. So I don't think that's right to be doing it, and for that I call them assholes. I do, and people can have a problem if you call them assholes, but you don't fucking put up a build if you're not going to explain the downfalls with it too, because you need to know this stuff in order when you're playing it. Okay, so here's the deal. This build is a glass cannon. It cannot survive like 3 hits. Your toughness is not that high. Like 36 million isn't that high, especially when you're doing like G90s and stuff like that. Now, if you look at the top, the builds of the leaderboard, I'm not saying follow that, but you'll even find that they have only like 20 million, 20 million toughness. So mine's higher than that because I don't know why, but some of them are just stupid. So the other thing you have to look at too is when you look at the leaderboard, all right, you'll see these people doing this stuff with these builds, but you have to take a look at something here. His Paragon level's 2328. Of course he's going to be able to do that. That's what the other people don't pay attention to. They see the shit on the build, but they're not paying attention to, like, alright, I'll again, look at this. His is 1738. That's a friggin' high-ass Paragon level. But if you take a look at this, I can almost guarantee you he's probably got at least one Primal on here. I could be wrong in that, but I'm there it is. There's a Primal Crispins. There's a freaking, I don't know if that's Primal, no. There's a fucking Primal Lucanis. And this is the other stuff that people don't look at. On top of that, these things are perfectly fucking rolled. Meaning, if you take a look at this, I don't mean perfectness and stat-wise. I'm talking about the proper stats on this thing. This kid has a lost time. Now, first of all, lost time goes with the Land of the Dead's frozen land. So that's the first thing on that. So he's got basically what you would consider the proper phylactery. Secondly, it's ancient. Third, it's got corpse lance damage on it, maximum essence, critical hit chance, and he was able to put cooldown reduction on it. That's a godly friggin' statted item. It doesn't matter whether it's low or not. It has everything that you need on it. Now, the Tragul's Corroded Fang, again, he has 19 maximum essence. He's got 10% damage. It's just retarded. Plus, if you look at his gem ranks, they're 120. Now, I'm going to tell everybody right now, there's an exploit that people were using, and anybody can say whatever it said it was done legitimate. Anybody who has a rank 120 gem plus, almost none of them did it legitimately. Blizzard is actually banning people for using the exploit for using this. And it's not just on there, it's not just, they didn't just augment their gear with it, they freaking have it inside their freaking rank, their jewelry. So there's no, this is the problem that people don't understand. They look at this and like, why can't I do this? It's because of this other shit that's involved. Alright, so let me get into what the deal here is. What they don't tell you is that there were certain rifts that these people went through. Obviously, if you have a Paragon level of 2,500, it's the equivalency of you doing a GR 40 while you're at level 70. Anybody's going to be able to, it doesn't even matter, you're going to be able to do that. That's most likely because they either bought it or account shared. Not that I really give a shit about that, but I'm just saying this is all the shit that's wrong with this stuff, and then people just get fucked up. Alright, so the first thing is, this thing's a glass cannon. You're not supposed to get in the middle of shit with it. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to fish for the proper rift. If you see a caved level area where all the corridors are narrow and you have to keep opening doors, stop the rift and leave. Just exit the game and start a new one, because what you wind up doing is you waste more time trying to clear out these little areas to get to elite packs. And then when you finally do get to the elite pack, it fills in the gap that you just did, maybe goes over the timer a little bit, but by the time you get to the next elite pack, the elite pack you killed is useless. The corridored areas in this build is fucking terrible for those areas. You're not going to get godly areas, but it's just stay the fuck away from corridored areas. I've been halfway through a rift where I had, a good first level, an okay second level, and 2 shitty third levels, and it put me behind the timer because I couldn't get through there. So another problem that people have is they keep jumping in the middle of it because they see other people playing it in that fashion. But what they're not realizing is that the people aren't actually playing in that fashion. Most of the people that are talking are already using pre-recorded videos from a different play mode, and it's probably some other random player that's doing it or something like that. So just be aware of that when you're watching those videos. I'm not saying they are, but I'm just saying be aware of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a GR90. Now, I'm going to go over my gear here because my gear is not optimized to the best. It's not even optimized properly to the, the most part. But what I usually do with my gem ranks is I usually use a Demon Hunter to get my gems ranked really quickly, up to level 60 or something like that. And then I use the Necromancer to continue ranking them. So I use 2 different characters to jack up the ranks. Now, you will see people with gem rank 100, and they haven't even done a GR90 solo. That's because they're grouping together and doing them. If you group together, you will get far faster with your gem ranks, which allow you to do your stuff solo. So that's just the other thing that isn't being discussed. And this is all the shit that's just annoying that these fucking idiots don't tell you about. Okay, so let me go over my gear here. Obviously, I have Ancient. So here's the decision making that has to be done on this. First of all, I've had to correct people that damage ratios are not the same on this as you would on another build. The most important stat on this is the cooldown. I have a 52.73% cooldown. Now I'm going to explain to people how the cooldown reduction works with this. And I don't mean how it interacts with the game. I'm telling how the percents go up. Okay. This cooldown reduction I have on here is 8%. Now, before it hit 8%, I think it was at 6%. Now, it doesn't actually add 2% to that. So if I let's say this was at 56%, let's say the cooldown was at 6%. It wouldn't say then I put it up 2%. It wouldn't go from 52 to 58. It would 52 to 54. It doesn't go 2% like that. What it does is it takes the current percent that's written on here, it applies it to the current amount. So it's actually 8%. Like, if I were to put this on, it would be like 8% of 52. So basically, before I put this up to 8%, I think it was like at 6, and it was only at 50. So by putting that on there, it didn't go up 2%. It only went up 8% of 50, which does something. I can't remember. In other words, if it went up the exact amount, it would be 58% instead of this, but it's not. That's not how it works. All right, so ideally, you want cooldown reduction on everything. In this case, with the Traveler's Pledge, I couldn't do it. I had to put a socket into it. In this case, I have cooldown reduction on this, but it's not maxed. Sorry, my nose is freaking running really bad. Ugh, my God. I don't even have this properly statted either. I just put this on here. So I could change this to, I don't know, I'd remove the resistance and put it to cold damage or something. I'm not sure. All right, so anyway, on a phylactery, 8% is the highest you could get. 10% is the highest you could get on the Tragul's Corroded Fang. 8% on your rings, 8% on your phylactery, 8 on your gloves, 8 on your shoulders, stuff like that. Now, when you're dealing with your chest piece, you want to have corpse lance damage on your chest piece, ideally. If you can't get that, or you already have that and it has vitality, the secondary abilities are what you can go after, do like damage reduction from elites or something like that, something of that nature. So what you basically have here is a basic setup. Now, when you get into your skills, people don't understand what this is. They just copy it and they just look at it. So basically, let me explain to what Satiated does. Satiated increases your maximum amount of life that you have. Now, here is the interesting thing with this. My max life right now is only 871,942. But what happens here is the gem that I have, the gizzard, it puts a percentage of that current max life. So even if I use Satiated to increase my max life, the barrier that protects me won't change from that, because it's not touching the new max life. It's touching your current max life, and that's what it comes down to. So I don't think, I could be wrong in this, but you can keep an eye on it. But it's I think the gem is only going to allow me to get 237,457. I don't think it'll go above that, even if my life goes to 1 million, which is basically what Satiated does. Satiated will increase your life, which allows you to survive longer. But that does not increase your toughness, so you can still take a beating when you do this. So you have to be really, really, really careful when you're playing this, and I'll go over all that afterwards. All right, Simulacrum, the reason it uses Reservoir is because this particular build uses Realada's Shadow Hook inside the cube. Related, I can't pronounce that. But anyway, what this does is, even though it seems like 0.5% is not a major damage difference, it is, because it's the same thing as it's the same difference as going up one level in a GR, because one level can make a major difference, and you'll find that out if you haven't done that. So that's all I'm going to say on that. Now, you can use a Christmas sentence in here, or convention of elements, depending on where you're putting this, because what you're looking for is the 100% damage increase, not like the intelligence or anything else. It's the 100%. It's the maximum damage you can do. I have a Christmas sentence that actually gives me 100%, so I use that when I'm farming T13. But when I'm doing this is a different story. So, all right. So basically, you want cooldown reduction on all your stuff, because that's your main issue. Is the more times you can activate Land of the Dead, the more you can spam Corpse Lance, and that's really what this comes down to. So you are going to spend more time cursing enemies than you will doing damage, but that's why you would want Nemesis bracers on here, because this is an elite. You know, this is going after elites. All right, now something people don't tell you when you're clearing rifts, and this is just a generalized thing, that I've watched people argue with this, and I've watched it in chat, and I've had people argue with me. It is a base fact that enemies killed give you XP. Enemies killed in a rift count toward rift progression. So it's amazing to me how people will only say, well, the little little mobs are not worth it. That has nothing to do with the fact that little mobs contribute to the progression. Now, there's a trick to doing that, which a lot of people skip over a lot of the enemies, so when they kill them, it's not giving much progression. The trick to getting progression off of the little mobs is you have to kill enough of them fast enough, and this build does that. You can do it with multi-shot up to a point. You can kind of do it with Impale. And I'm not sure about the Barbarian or anything else, but you can definitely do it with this build. So if you get like 50 little enemies on the screen, kill them all, because it's going to count as almost an orb of progression. You'll see it when I do it. I'm going to do it in this rift, and you'll see why. Then there's also another reason why I'm doing that, which I'll explain afterwards. But if you take elites only, now you're just giving your XP plus the rift progression. But what's funny is people are like, oh, it's not worth it, but they still don't get that. Elites give progression in XP, and the little guys give progression in XP. If you only deal with the elites, you're missing this. But if you add this and this, you get the rift done twice as fast. And it's not just even in greater rifts. It works in all rifts. So the interesting thing is that's why I watch people when they do challenge rifts. The challenge rifts are set up so you have to kill the little enemies along the way. Otherwise, you'll just bury the timer. Because that's why they don't allow you to teleport and everything else. They're challenge rifts. Some of them are stupid, but that's the baseline on it, and that's the reality behind it. It's a base fact. So it's like when people close a rift looking for an item. If you're looking for an item, don't close the damn rift, because the more it's faster to do this. What the hell does faster have to do with the fact that you're looking for an item? If you're looking for an item, you want to go through as many of them in the rift as you can. People are just impatient. They're stupid. And this is the information that the websites give off that's just retarded. All right, so now that I've gone over all that, and you understand that this thing is a fucking glass cannon. You're not going to survive with it if you get hit. If you jump into the middle of a bunch of enemies, you're going to get killed. I'm going to do that so you can get the whole gist of what the hell is going on, and so I can point it out. So I'm just going to do a GR90 with this so you can see, because anybody that's having problems doing a GR70 would be you'd play it the exact same way I am. It's just on a lower level. So I'm just gonna. I don't know if I should empower this rift. Yeah, whatever, I don't give a shit. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is I activate this anyway. And the reason why I activate this is because fucking Juggernaut asshole. I fucking can't stand these assholes. Fucking douchebag. Okay, so what I just did was I cleared out this entire back area, because what happens is there's so many enemies on the screen here. These fucking, like, Blazing Guardians, if I jump up in the middle of this, I'm going to get killed. I'm going to totally get killed. Because I don't have a safe zone. So what you first need to do is clear out safe zones. That is why corridored areas are fucking terrible for this. Because there's so many little enemies that you won't be able to survive, because you'll be jumping around trying to avoid it, and then the enemies above you will get killed. So this whole build is basically doing this. Now, my cooldowns are already off, and there's another elite pack over here. Let me clear this out. So I'm killing as many little enemies ahead of here as I can, because you need a place to retreat to. So the first thing that people don't do and they don't explain to you is clear an area out. See how there's nothing here and I can just want to run around? So if I go up here, watch what happens. My cooldown's on. It's not done yet, but watch what happens. There's so many fucking enemies up here, I'm going to get killed if I go over here. And the other thing people are doing is they're not spamming Decrepify. You literally have to continually spam Decrepify on everything. Now I'm gonna clear. Even though this is case in point, watch the progress bar. Watch it go up when I kill all these little enemies. You might not be able to see it, but believe me, I just gained like 3% additional fucking progress on that. So, like I said, if you kill enough little enemies fast enough, it's going to fill the progression bar up. On top of that, it gives you an area you can retreat to. And if you look, I'm not running ahead. And most people run ahead with this, which is what the problem my friend was having, which is why I'm going over this. He kept getting in the middle of a bunch of things. And it was just too hard for him, and that's why he was having a problem doing it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I did that when I first started. It's because you don't have any idea not to do that, because these assholes that come up with these builds and on these websites don't tell you not to do that. The other problem with this build that's downfall is that Land of the Dead doesn't work the way it should be working. And that meaning is that when Land of the Dead is active, there should be nothing active in it. All incoming projectiles should stop. And on top of that, this is just my opinion, all incoming projectiles should stop in the radius of that so you don't have to move. So what happens is if you're in the middle of a poison level, fucking don't even do the level. Just leave. Because what happens here is if you need that full 10-second damage, especially when you're on higher rifts, in order for you to clear it out. But what happens is when you kill the enemies, they explode into poison. You see what's going on here? You see what just went on? I almost died because I'm sitting there. Now my cooldown is done. Now I'm gonna have to move because the what's going on with this is that I think there's a frozen pulse there, and if that freaking comes in contact with me, I have to move. So if I have to move, it stops me from dealing damage, which again cripples the build because you have to get all 10 seconds off or you're gonna get fucked. So the Decrepify here is actually preventing me from taking damage because of my belt. So if you notice, I'm taking my time. I'm not even rushing up. Shit, I'm gonna get killed. Fucking that's another thing that's fucking annoying. This is so retarded. So yeah, this is the reality. I'm just getting the fuck off this level. There's entirely way too many of these things. Alright, so now... Oh, this fucking level's filled with elites. See, what the other thing here is that Blizzard, since the introduction of the Necromancer here with these builds, Blizzard increased the amount of... they increased the amount of mortar, and they increased the amount of Juggernaut and enemies. So... what happens here is you can't, like, fuck with the build the same way. So Blizzard did it because they can't have the build overpowered, which I understand, but at the same time, it's stupid because why the hell would they make a build and then give you from using it? It's just dumb. Most people are afraid to do this, but when you have grounded enemies, there's enemies you wouldn't be able to do this with. Like, when you have clan spearmen, you just leave. Don't even bother trying to do the level, unless you're already this far into it, because what happens is they'll kill you. Now, here's a case in point. I'm not even gonna look for an elite pack. I'm killing every one of these little enemies. Also, I'm casting Decrepify over the enemies I'm killing. Now, these extra corpses around here I could use to kill the rest of these guys. Now, obviously, when you get a channeling pylon, that's gold in this because that is the balls. That's literally the best pylon you can get for this build because you can literally clear out the entire level with this. I'm gonna go back afterwards. Oh shit, that's an end. Like, every build has a pylon that's really good for it, but now I'm just going to activate it again. The reason I'm going to activate it again, even though there's no enemies around, is simply because I don't want to run into any enemies, and anything I'm killing is going to add to the progression of the rift bar. You know, it's going to add to the progression of it. See, fucking, I messed that. Fucked up. So, you kind of have to do this the same as multi-shot. You know, you have to clear out, you have to kill everything on the fucking map in order to actually, like, be safe and shit. This area is actually good. I got good enemies with this. So this is just a piss poor example of, like, how bad this build can be. I'll jack it up to 95 and I'll show you. I think I did a 102 with this or something like that. Not sure. Now, once you spam Decrepify, it slows them down and it reduces your damage you take, which allows you to use Molten and then use Devour on that so you can gain your health back. See all these poison enemies? I had to move, because if you stay in that, you're obviously dead. So that's the friggin', that's the horse shit with this. Those guys, if you're in Land of the Dead, nothing should be even happening. Like, they should just be fucking dead. You know what I mean? It should only reactivate or finish doing it once Land of the Dead is expired. Okay, another thing here that if you're gonna die or something like that, or your Land of the Dead's not cooled off, what I usually do is this, because I don't know what's on the next rift. One of the tricks that they don't tell you, well, I don't want to say tricks, but one of the ways to play it is to clear out this entire upper area so you have a safe spot when you come back up. Because you don't want to friggin' wind up having to come back up, especially when you got fucked over by, you know, a couple of guys down there, because Blizzard has a habit of this game has a habit of spawning like 2 or 3 elite packs, you know, up on top here. Now, I'm gonna wait until my friggin' cooldown is done, because I don't know, I'm not gonna run into that fucking, oh, let's run in to have 3 elite packs at the fucking beginning of the level. It's fucked up. That's a good thing for this build, but if you can't get the damage off because because it's, you know, the enemies are exploding, or you're getting hit from shit from left and right, or it's arcade or anything else, or it's Juggernaut enemies. I've run into that shit. It's like Juggernaut enemies, they're fucked, because it's like, oh man, the Juggernaut enemies are just bad because they don't get affected by crowd controlling effects. So what happens is they can get near you, rendering the Stone of Vengeance useless for all damage, because as soon as an enemy is in range of you, see, here's a prime example of why a corridor in areas is fucking retarded. So I'm clearing out this corridor area. So what happens now is, if this was the beginning of a rift, I would just stop it. I wouldn't even do this rift. I wouldn't even do it. Because what happens is, I don't know where an elite pack is, and I'm going to spend more time trying to get to elite packs. And you see all these archers, you're gonna get killed. You're going to get killed. There's no other way around it. Now I have a way to see, this guy's fucking mortar. Oh, he's molten. Sorry, he's not mortar. Later, the Dead's almost off. Now, in this particular case, you hope you can friggin' get the Rift Guardian off before you could. Sometimes you can get lucky, but sometimes you don't. So what happens is, once you're near this, I would actually go up to the other rift. If mine was on cooldown, I would go up to the next level, let it cool down if the Guardian was down here, and then come back down and get it, because you don't want to get yourself fucked up. So these are just little tips and tactics that you have to do. So I'm gonna jack this up to 95 next, and I'll show you the difference. It's fucking retarded. All right, so let me rank my gem. I don't even know what gem I want to rank here. See, 35. I'll just do this one. I don't even care. So is everybody following this so far? You starting to see what the issues are with this, and why it pisses me off that people who come up with these builds and put this shit on a website don't explain half of the stuff that's causing the build to fail. It's really annoying. And I don't, like I said, I don't think that's right. I think they're assholes for doing it. It's like some jackass that puts up a friggin' program on the net and then doesn't really fully explain it, or only puts it in terms that, because they built it, they understood, not realizing that if they're going to put it on a website and people are going to go looking for something, that not everybody's going to understand their terminology. And then what you do is you go to the website, only to be told to leave the website. When you Google it, the Google tells you to go back to the website. You don't get any information. And then people are like, oh, get good. It's a fucking retarded thing. So, yes, it absolutely is the responsibility of the person who posts something to have that happen. All right, so I'm going to go up to GR 90 now, 95 now, and see what happens. Because, like I said, the way I was just playing that, if you notice, even on that, I didn't really rush into anything. Alright, so I hate these fucking levels. Enemies flying off the level piss me off. Right, so that is an elite pack down there. I just gotta fucking get to him. I'm getting good sets of enemies. It's when you start getting all these friggin' bogan trappers and shit, it's so annoying. pack over here, I think. Yep, there is. Fuck me. Alright, so let's see here this. And I am just off the record, you know, off the subject matter. People always ask me, it's like, how the fuck do I get Paragon level, like, 800 at the beginning of the fucking, like, first day of the season? And that is because I usually, when I'm playing a Demon Hunter or something like that, I get lucky, and I go into the game, and there's, like, 3 fucking Necros in the game, and I just stay with them, and I get, like, freaking 15 Paragon freaking levels per fucking run. It's retarded. So that's how you do it. That's how these people are doing that at the beginning. They, you know, they get teamed up with some people that are using them. So a suggestion is, if you want to get further in the you know, the season, it's better off to use a character you know you can do it, because the Necro by far deals out the most damage of any character, and it does it very easily, even with completely shitty gear too. It's amazing how fucking stupidly overpowered that is. I'm gonna get fucking killed now. Now, did you see what just happened? I was in the middle of, I got in the middle of that, but because I spammed Decrepify and everything, the Decrepify is actually keeping me from, actually, no. What's keeping me from dealing damage is the fucking Dimensional Shield. Sorry, that was retarded. I'm stupid. Ignore that last comment. Now, another thing that people don't do, and I had to explain this, and I'm not saying anybody doesn't know this, but just to let you guys know, that when you're casting Corpse Lance, I had somebody not even understanding to do this, and as soon as I did it, he was like, wow, the damage ratio is so different. When you activate Land of the Dead, I have Corpse Lance set to my right mouse button. I'm holding that down while spamming Devour because it's throwing 2 corpses. Now, the way you aim your mouse cursor is the direction you're going to go in, but you can't control which direction the corpses from Devour are being thrown from. You can control the Corpse Lances off of the manual casting as you're targeting an enemy with your mouse. But as far as Devour goes, there's no control over that. But it will put them in any direction you put your mouse cursor in, so that's another thing. So basically, when you cast this, make sure well, in my case, I'm holding down the right mouse button, and then I'm also spamming friggin' Devour. So I'm getting 2 corpses for the price of 1. Fuck is that? I gotta get the fuck away from that thing. There's shit that's broken in these rifts. Like, see, what the fuck is this? What is this Lucani Hunter? Why are all of a sudden Lucani Huntresses in this rift for? They don't belong there. They're not even part of this enemy group. So, like, these rifts, that's something that just needs to be fixed. These rift groups are fucking broken as far as enemies go. Because there's just enemies amongst these groups. That's like fucking putting a piece of fucking chocolate in a vegetable display. It doesn't fit, you know what I mean? Like, literally, there's absolutely no reason at all that any Lucani Huntresses are on here. None. There's none. It doesn't fucking fit. I don't know what the fuck's going on with the spawning of these enemies. Another thing is, these enemies that have these multiple fucking fixes on them, these elites, this shit with them fucking stopping, this shit with fucking spamming the fucking, powers that they have every fucking 3 seconds also needs to end. I mean, there's a difference between having something challenging and then just having a stupid fucking layout of it. Alright, so because I've lost some time with this, I'm gonna kill every freaking one of these little enemies because they're fucking huge and they're gonna give me a massive freaking increase on the on all the time I missed so I can get to the next elite pack. Oh, of course. Of fucking course. Of course I have to have my freaking the Land of the Dead wear off as soon as I find an elite pack. This is good, man. Alright. Well, I'm surprised I killed him. So I'm so fucking surprised I killed him. Wow, so surprised I killed him. I gotta figure out the allergies are freaking killing me. Oh, fuck. I'm at a loss about which direction I should go in first. I think it's this way. Oh, see, this level's gonna be a fucking problem. There's so many of these assholes all over the place. So once I get this out of the fucking way, I gotta clear this shit out. This is terrible. Wow, this is ridiculous. Here we go. I don't know if I can get him. Nope. Okay, so now here's a case in point where I'm gonna show you what I usually do. He's gonna teleport. This guy's not that bad, but if you got freaking like Perdition, he'll just freaking one-shot you. So I just wait because I got some. I think I got like 15 seconds or something left, so I'm just gonna wait. Now I could go down here and just spam friggin' Decrepify over him, but that's just pointless. It's good because if he spawns enemies, the Decrepify will actually cool you down much faster. Oh fuck! See, that's why you don't go down. I should have fucking known. Was even paying attention. There's a case in point of if you get hit, you're just fucking dead. There's no other way around it. I'm full of blood shards. That's what's going on. Like, what the fuck is dropping on here? Let me go back to town. I do this shit. Those are legend. I don't even use those. Let's see what I got here. I'll spend this after. What do I want to do here? Shoulders of the Helm. Oh, just so you know, since I've already cleared GR70 solo with this on this, if you guys are gonna go after primal items, I just want to explain something about that. I've made videos about this and I've had idiots argue with me, but nothing you do is gonna get you a primal faster. Playing longer, going through more items means nothing. Everyone's like, well, why do bots get it? That's because they just get lucky. A bot doesn't have any more chances of getting a primal than you do. The only way you can increase your chance of getting a primal is to fucking go into the game code and change the fucking number. That's the only way you can do it. Going through more items doesn't increase your chances. All it does is it gives you more one-time percents to go through it, but that's not this. The way the game works is fucked up. I guess I don't want to get into that in this video, but basically what I was going to get at, for primal items, the things you want to go after first are weapons and gloves and helmet. The reason behind those is because if you happen to get a primal on any one of those, the stat bonus on that is 1,000. Rings, chest pieces, phylacteries, and everything else are all 650. So the reason you want to go after weapons, the glove. Alright, so let me see. I'm gonna go down and grab those real quick. Then upgrade my gem. I'm gonna do a GR. I'm gonna try to go up to a GR 100. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to pull it off, but I'll try. I died once, so this is only gonna go up fucking 4 slots. This is for my other character. Alright, speak at work. Yeah, I'm gonna do a GR 100 now and see how well that works off. I have no fucking idea if we're gonna be able to pull it off, but I'll try. Okay, that's what I have, but that's actually pretty good. Yeah, it's fucking garbage. Fucking primal firewalkers. Oh my god. I know people probably just cringed. You salvaged the primal? Yep. It's not on a build I use. I don't use it. There's no reason for it. Like, maybe it's in my hardcore. I don't know. I have them somewhere. I don't even know. Yeah, I fucking think I have them somewhere else. Anyway, alright. Let me go do this. Grab some shit here.
See you soon. Well, isn't that nice? Lucky you.
2 pestilence helms. Neither one of them's garbage.
You look like you could use a new item of that will look nice.
I finish this. I'll go over. There's a couple of issues with the current speed boost build that kind of fucks up the build and kills you way faster than you can comprehend. So I did some tweaking to the build for the speed farming on both T13 and bounties, and I'll show you what I did to it. And I'm not saying mine's the best, but mine's more survivable than the one. I literally copied. So, alright, so let me go into a GR 100, because now this is where the shit really gets serious. Okay, so. Alright, so. As I said, make a safe spot. And if you see, the timer is really up there. All those little enemies, and even hitting an elite pack. I mean, sure, if I hit an elite pack, I'd be up further. But the fact of the matter is, I basically didn't let the timer cripple me by, I just killed enough little enemies. So that's what I was getting at. It's kind of stupid that people always ignore them, and then either they don't, find it right, or they just, I want to say find it right, but that's bad use of words. But they don't do it right, so they're like, oh, that's not worth it. It absolutely is worth it. You just have to fucking do it right. Fuck me. I wouldn't have been able to kill him anyway, so me moving didn't matter. But the fact of the matter is, if you just saw, I had to move. Because I almost died. Literally, my friggin' final service triggered off. I gotta watch out. I think some of these guys are fire chained. And that's the importance of having to friggin' have a have an area cleared out. You have to have it or you're just gonna get fucking smoked. What the fuck is with these fire-chained enemies? What the fuck? Now, if you see what I'm doing, I'm teleporting through everything, but I'm leaving enough corpses so when I frickin' take enough damage, I can just salvage, I can, you know, devour the corpses again. And stay alive. So you have to kind of have faith in your build, you know what I mean? Because people are afraid to get in the middle of it. I used to be afraid to get in the middle of it, but you just have to say fuck it. Now, obviously, if there was a bunch of spear chucking guys there, I wouldn't do that. You see what I'm doing, though? I'm cordoned off the enemies. I'm going in a circle, and I'm getting them to frickin' go in one area. Fucking juggernaut asshole. I'm gonna fucking kill him if I don't get out of here. Oh, I just died. Now, I'm gonna tell you something right now. I'm gonna kill this juggernaut enemy, but I'm just gonna tell you, don't do it. It's a waste of fucking time. Don't even do it. Motherfucker. Oh my god. Alright, sorry about that. My freaking game minimized. Like, I'm playing in windowed mode to freaking do the stream on this. And, my friggin' game, I friggin' minimized my game by accident. I friggin' couldn't kill that shit. That was annoying. Fucking juggernaut and enemies, seriously. Alright, yeah, sorry about that. Like I said, my game minimized. See, these fucking things are annoying. These are ranged phantoms. They're a real pain in the fucking ass with this. They're really dangerous to this build out of all the friggin' enemies. They're the worst friggin' thing against this build. Because they have this stupid ranged attack. So this whole entire area is filled with them. Oh, motherfucker. I'm getting so screwed right now. Fucking guys were shielded. This is a pain in the ass. I'll tell you what potion I used too afterwards. I didn't actually go over that. That actually, I think that really helps immensely because some people use armor and stuff like that. I don't think armor is a. I'm not saying armor is not bad, but I think there's just a better potion for you to use. Come on. Finally. Yeah, there's entirely too many of these fucking things over here. I'm gonna get killed. Oh, fuck me. See, I ran back like a wuss. I know that sounds fucked up to do what I just did because I didn't go after the elite. I don't know if I can get him. I'm hidden behind a wall so I can't get him. I don't know, I just use it. It just happens to be what I use. I mean, there's probably better followers. I didn't really get into that. Now, that's something that I didn't look into. But I'm not... I honestly don't think followers... Oh, fuck, I'm sorry. I'm not even paying attention to what the hell's going on. Oh, just so you know, if you die and your cooldown's almost on... Yeah, see, this is fucked up. You can't even get through this. I have to target all the enraged phantoms because they're not going to be able to frickin'... I got to get rid of all of them. Yeah, this is fucking ridiculous. See how fucking retarded this is? There's so many little enemies, and this is, like I said, this is a prime example of why fucking corridored areas are fucking retarded for this. Because you'll spend more time trying to fucking survive through the little packs killing them all than you will friggin', you know... That's why I believe Briggs Wrath should be a fucking factor in this build. Alright, good. Here we go. The problem is when you're behind a wall, you're gonna get fucked up if you're not careful. What the fuck? I gotta get him? Yeah, I got him. I'm gonna get killed fucking going through here. See, this is fucking retarded. There should not be this many of these fucking guys back here, but it's a lot. I can't really piss him off about that, but it's just like, come on, really? Alright, here we go. There's just too fucking many of them. So you have to friggin', like I said, you gotta make sure you have an area clear. What the fuck? You have to make sure you have an area cleared out of here. I'm also using these guys to cool down to get my cooldown reduction all set too. There we go. This is fucking ridiculous. I need to get up in there. There it is. This should cause the Rift Guardian to show up. Nope, not that. Fucking. You see how fucking stupid this is? Like, this is why, like I said, I wanted to do this to show you guys that if this was the first level of the Rift, I would have just left the Rift. There's just rifts that you just don't want to do with this build. So, I mean, everybody knows that fishing is a part of the Rift system, but there comes a time where the fishing on this gets fucking so stupid, it's asinine. Alright, so now you have to go back over to the beginning. Come on, where are you? See, hitting him with this isn't going to do much. Oh, shit. So I'm like a wuss. I'm hiding. Oh, there we go. I'm hiding behind the fucking walls. There we go. Alright, so like I said, after I did this, I'm going to go over the speed build with this because, like I said, there's so many idiots that make these videos that don't go over, like, what the fuck is wrong with these builds. So again, it's not right for them to be doing that and turning people away from what they would have normally done because they see what other people are doing and that looks cool, and when they can't do it, people are like, oh, you just don't know how to play it. It's of course they don't know how to fucking play it. The person who put the video up didn't bother explaining it. So that's not anybody's fault but the idiot who puts the video up, or like Icy Veins and shit. I don't know, man. There's just too much shit that isn't explained about this. Everyone's like, yo, this build's great. Yeah, it's a fucking glass cannon, that's for sure. Alright, give me 1 second. I gotta go blow my nose. I'll be right back. My allergies are killing me. Just hang tight, guys. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that. Okay, I'm back here. Okay, so now I'll go over my speed build for this after I get rid of all this shit that's in here. That's Traveler's Pledge. Yeah, whatever. I didn't even fucking put cold damage on these things. Oh, that's hilarious. Hey, is that better than the other one I got? Huh. Huh, that's weird. I'd just rather keep the damage on that. I was contemplating on whether to do that, but no. Alright. Okay, now, the speed build for this thing, it uses an Ingome in the hand, or whatever the hell it is. And it uses, Johnstone Amulet. This is the basic build for it. Uses a Johnstone Amulet and a few additional things, but the removal of certain things makes this build too fragile. So you have the question I had to come up with, or the way I had to do the build was I had to find a way to tweak it to keep the damage ratio the same while keeping the survivability of it insane. So let me see if I can grab cold damage on this. Should just fucking put poison on it. Fuck it. You know what? I'm going to leave my poison on that just because I can. Okay, so. Okay, so now here's the reasoning and the way I have this done. All right, now I have Stuart. I think I have Stuart Greaves in my cube somewhere. Yeah, I have them here. I have a pair of Stuart Greaves that give me 100% movement speed. I didn't even wear them. It's simply because what happens is I use them in the cube and then a Royal Ring of Grandeur with Naria's Black Death. So this is the baseline of the setup. The difference is I'm not wearing the Stuart Greaves, and instead I'm actually wearing Corpse Whisper Pauldrons instead of having them in the cube, so I still get the damage from them, but I still get the 6-piece bonus set because of the Royal Ring of Grandeur. So I swapped out a couple of things. You'll also notice that my Crispin Sentence, obviously here, it does 100%. Like I said, I had a Crispin Sentence that does 100% damage. Now, that doesn't really matter one way or the other because you're going to use a Royal Ring of Grandeur in the cube or on your person, depending on which one's better. But the issue here with the Crispin Sentence is the 100% additional damage because that's your damage ratio. Obviously, using the Vigilante belt is going to help you out as well because the cooldown reduction. Now, if you take a look at the cooldown reduction I have on this, it's 52.73% because I have a couple of things maxed out, plus a couple of other things. So, okay, the reason I decided to go with Corpse Whisper Pauldrons instead of having Stuart Greaves on my character and then the Corpse Whisper Pauldrons in the cube is simply because the Corpse Whisper Pauldrons already automatically give you a Corpse Lance damage percent. However, it also gives an additional Corpse Lance damage percent on most of them. Not all of them roll like that, but a lot of them do. So right now, in this particular case, I get 28% Corpse Whisper damage off of the stat itself, like off of the bottom here. But if you'll notice, it also rolled with 12%. So 12% plus 28% is 40%. So I have 40% additional damage coming from Corpse Lance alone. So rather than have critical hit, I changed it to cooldown reduction on the Corpse Whisperer. So that's a really nasty piece of gear. So instead of having just the shoulders, which I'll show you, I think this is it. No, that's not it. I gotta find. Here it is. Even though my shoulders are augmented, and I'd be doing more damage with it, this is for rifting, like farming T13 and doing bounties. Now, this is especially fun when you're having the Stuart Greaves in the cube. Now, I have Bone Armor for Dislocation and then Bone Spear. Now, the Ingo, because it has a 10-second cooldown, I kept re-rolling this until I got a 10-second on this, and then I put a 10-second. So I have a literally 10% cooldown reduction on top of 10 seconds being removed. And then all the rest of the stuff is the same, plus the Vigilante belt. So this is the speed build that I use for this, and I'll show you in action. Dislocation is really good because the reason I forgot to mention too, I took out the Gizzard, the Gizzard gem because the protection is now coming from Bone Armor, and it's coming from the ability for you. I'm still using Satiated. Oh, sorry, I'm using Cannibalize. I should be using Satiated. But also, I've taken out, like I said, I'm not using Corpse Whisperer Pauldrons in the cube, and I'm not using the Shadow Hook either. I'm using the Naria's Black Death, and then I'm using the Stuart Greaves here. Now, as far as the skill goes, since you're going to be wanting to move around, you want Fueled by Death. If you notice, I took out Overwhelming Essence. The reason I took that out is because this fits it better because I can move faster. And on top of that, I'm not using shadow hook on the cube, so it doesn't really matter. So the damage difference is coming from the corpse whisper pauldrons, and then the cooldown reductions on top of that to make my make it go even faster. So I'm not using an Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac, which would probably make it go faster. But the reason I'm not doing that is because I'm not after the cooldowns. I'm after the damage ratios that are still going to deal it off the damage to kill the enemy, so they're not there to kill me. So that's why I'm not using an Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac. Now you can do that, but that's just not the way I'm using the build, because like I said, remove the Johnstone Amulet and the Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac removes the Traveler's Pledge. So what happens is it removes the damage reduction when you're moving around, and then it removes the damage reduction when you're when you're moving around, and then reduces the damage. You're just missing damage and protection. So I decided to keep them on there for that particular reason. So because I kept those on there, Decrepify isn't needed, and when you're not using Decrepify, then you don't need the Dainty's Binding Belt on there either. So I'm going to go do it, Keith. Now, this will work regardless if more people are in the Rift or not, because more people in the Rift is more damage. All right, so anyway. So I'll show you this in use. You can literally do damage. This is why you do this, because, whoops. And if you notice, my cooldowns just jumped immensely. Now my cooldowns are all set again. The Bone Spear itself is actually doing the, well, it doesn't even matter because I'm not using a resource spending attack that affects Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac, so it doesn't even matter. Just keep freaking casting Land of the Dead. Now, I'm also manually casting Corpse Lance at the same time, but when I'm running, I'm just spamming Devour. That's all I'm doing, because there's enough damage coming through all these for me to. Yes, Pestilence Robe, that's hilarious. So now watch, I'm just going to go through it. I know, I'll do this afterwards. Now I'm just spamming Devour. See how much damage I'm doing with it? It's just so ridiculous. I'm just spamming Devour. I'm not even using... now I'll, like, when I get to a situation like this, I'll manually cast Corpse Lance plus Devour. See how, like, the Bone Armor is actually protecting me. So... See, I didn't even use Land of the Dead on that one I just killed. This is just a fucking horrible rift. I can't stand this shit. Dude, I can't even control this guy. He's going so fucking quick. I didn't even use Land of the Dead on that. That was hilarious. The Land of the Dead's already set back up again. What the fuck is with these coordinate areas, man? Seriously, what the fuck? This is a fucking horrible rift. This rift is fucking cancer. Oh, these guys are shielded, that's why I couldn't kill them. There he is. So that's basically the speed build on that. Obviously, these rifts were fucking ass, so they were long, and they took fucking longer than usual. Let me see if I can actually get a better rift. So you can see just how fast this actually goes. I'll also give you guys some tips on how to freaking, how to deal with, you know, when you're dealing with season and shit like that. Meaning, what's a really good course to take when you're doing season. Since, just so you guys know, since challenge rifts are in existence, before season starts, challenge rift, like within the first week before season starts, the challenge rift will change at the beginning of season. So what happens is, don't do the challenge rift right before season. Wait till season starts, then do the challenge rift so you can get a jump on the materials that people use. Alright, so let me see if I can get a better rift here. That was fucking horrible. Now, like I said, if you want to get a good jump on season, that's one thing that you can do. The second thing you can do is there's an order in which I do things in which immensely help out. First thing you want to do is get bounties done. That's the first thing you do when you go in any game. Do not do rifts, do bounties. The reason you do bounties is because you get all of the plans for everything, pretty much all the plans that you need for anything you can make, which is where your experience gear comes from. So it levels you faster. Secondly, you get items that you're actually going to wind up using later on that you're going to put in the cube. So if you wind up getting like a gold wrap belt and you have an avarice band, it's going to work really well. Same thing with Royal Ring of Grandeur. That allows to cut down on the set items you're using, things like that. So the first thing I do is I go in and I do all of these bounties. I literally do like 30 I get like 30 bounty chests. That's what I do. Because it also doubles over where you're killing elites, you know, you're getting bosses done. You possibly could get some of the conquest and things done like that. And you could get some of the achievements for season done doing that. Next, once you get that done, you have the gear to be able to survive lower level rifts. And you want to hop into obviously public rift games, but obviously you're not going to be able to do much damage. So most people, a lot of people will start using Necros simply because it gives them a fucking massive boost. So if you get into a game, if you're not using a Necro, or let's say, like I said, when I was using a Demon Hunter, I got lucky and I wound up going into a game that had 3 Necros in it. They were clearing fucking T10s on the first day. And they were like Paragon 200. It was ridiculous because there were 3 of them in there. So I was gaining massive fucking Paragon levels off of it. So if you find a group like that, I know it sucks that you're not with some of your... Just fucking stay there. Stay with them. Or the best thing to do is just to use a Necro in the first place. So let me... I'm going to also make a video about power leveling because this is a pain in the fucking ass when people do this because they don't seem to understand. All right, so let me go and try this again. Let's see what this is. Yeah. So hopefully I'll get a better riff this time. That riff was complete utter ass. Fucking seriously. That's hilarious. This was fucking horrible. What the hell is this shit? This is fucking horrible. These rifts are fucking horrible. Lucky it's only a rift. Oh, nice. Oh, look at the rope. Oh, there was 2 elites there. I know I left a bunch of orbs there, but I'm taking advantage of the, Now I'll go back and get them. That's another thing that aggravates me about rifts that should be fixed. You should. Why the fuck are players picking up progression orbs? Why can't they just go directly into your bar? Like you walk over golden, or you walk over health. You shouldn't need to fucking pick them up. That's retarded. That just doesn't make any sense. Oh, this is gonna be a really good rift. Oh wow, this is a really good area. Here we go. Ready? You get to see this in full fucking action right now. That would explain why my cooldown didn't go. There was always... That's another thing that pisses me off. Elite packs should not be separating from each other. That's fucking annoying. If it's going to be considered a pack, it should be separating from you. So now you guys just saw it in full action. I'll tell you right now, here's a funny story of how I got killed in fucking hardcore today. It's not funny. It's not funny, but it's funny. I'll get to that in a minute. I have no idea where the fuck I'm going. I think it's down here. This is fucking horrible. Alright, so there we go on that. Stand right in the explosion. I'm also using the corpse that I'm using through Molten to fucking throw it at these guys too. That's partially where some of my corpses are coming from when I'm like doing that. So if, in case you're wondering how I start triggering off an entire avalanche of them, it's because of that. Oh man, this is terrible. Oh, I just fucking finally died. Oops. Oops, that's not good. Now I gotta go back and clear all this shit out. There we go. Alright, so let me, after I grab this shit, I'm gonna go to town. And then what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna end this stream, and I'm gonna start a new one. I'm gonna title the new one, how to power level yourself properly. And so I'm going to go over some things that a lot of people aren't talking about either. Because, like, if you look at people that, you know, I'm telling you, I'll do it and I'll show you how fucking retarded it is. I'll literally go through and do it so you can see it firsthand. So I'm going to show you guys how to properly power level yourself, which is actually good if you set it up right. Like I said, I'll go over all the details and everything else of that when I make that video. So. See, 284, that's fucking horrible. Pestilence pants. Should I get rid of all this shit? Actually, that's an armor potion, I believe. Let me find out how much it is. That's good for an impaled DH. That 14 is fucking terrible. That is a convention of elements. That's pretty bad when you play this game enough. You can just tell what the you can't always tell the picture because this picture right here for this for the Compass Rose is actually a there's a ring that has that same exact picture for, like, I think it's a witch doctor or a monk or something like that. So sometimes you can't always tell by the picture. There's another, I found another one that another picture uses too. So it's like, so sometimes you can't tell depending on if it's those particular items. I'm like, oh, it's a Compass Rose, and I look at it like, that's a witch doctor ring or something. I can't remember. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna after I salvage all this shit, I'm gonna end this stream, and then I'm gonna title another one. Title the new one. I'm gonna start some coffee, and then I'm gonna title the new one. How to properly power level yourself. Or the proper way to power level, or how to properly power level or something. I'll title it with that. So I'll say how to properly power level. All right. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and just keep stay tuned for a little bit, and I'll be back on in, like, you know, within 10 minutes. So I'm making coffee and shit. So, all right, take care, guys.